All right, third time should be the charm. I just realized I wasn't recording any audio at first. My mic wasn't turned on, so this is third time doing the intro this morning. It's been a fun morning. I'm Tim. Welcome to my stream. This is a body transformation for the year. So that's what I'm recording is my body transformation. The whole point of this body transformation is to see how well I can do without taking any supplements. Not opposed to taking any supplements. If you enjoy taking supplements, great. I'm not doing any protein powder, protein shakes, no creatine, no BCAAs, nothing extra. Just trying to get all my nutrients from food. I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, secondary reason for not taking it is that when my kids start preschool, which is expensive, cutting out supplements saves me at least $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. And in this economy, every little bit helps. Working on back today. Make sure my audio's up real fast. I feel like streams go way better if you can hear what a person's actually saying. Yep, perfect. Good. Here we go. All right. Just want to say if you are working out, talked about it yesterday on my YouTube channel, but just make sure you take time to warm up. If you're not warming up, and you can give yourself a lot of potential problems. I like it because it gives me that chance to check in and make sure that everything that I'm going to be lifting heavy with is working in good order. It's nice because then you can spot any potential problems before anything bad happens. Man, this is a heck of a morning. It's Friday, though. No matter what happens, it's Friday. All right, 20 pounds. 9.07 kilograms. Move to 40-pound dumbbells. Some little flex. Hey, what's up, Posh? Morning. Or good afternoon, or good evening. I think you're afternoon, I can't remember. Knocking out the deadlift today. This is the 40 pounds, 18.14 kilogram dumbbells. Just talking about it's 3:38 p.m. So I thought I always get Australia time and Saudi Arabia confused. Which one's where? Today is the back doing deadlift. Just warming up still fast. I take longer to warm up my back. I go through more stages than anything else because nothing nothing makes me more stressed than hurting my back. You know, if you lift wrong and you hurt a shoulder, you got two shoulders. You know, you hurt your bicep, you got two biceps, but you only get one back. So take special care to make sure I don't mess up my back. Man, I heard an interesting thing yesterday, and I don't know if it's true. Thought maybe you would know if it, more likely to know if it was true or not. But I heard that in Dubai, you can't film anything without permission. Like you can't like take, you know, like Instagram people or TikTok people can't go and stand in front of something and just start shooting and recording people and stuff without getting permission. That you can get in. The idea is that you can get in serious trouble in Dubai for just randomly recording people. All right. Posh says, I don't know about that, but yeah, here in Saudi Arabia, if people are good with it or agree with it, it's okay. But if not, then you can't. Which I think is fair. I think if you're recording like a government official, that's one thing in the US. Because they work for the people. That's their job, but I think just recording private citizens isn't always the best. Unless there's a conflict and you're recording with the interest of, evidence in a lawsuit, that I understand, but some people are not, that well intentioned. Boss says, but if not, then you can't, unless if the owner of the place gave you approval about it, you can film and nobody can do shit. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, here we have like people that do prank videos and things to annoy the general public and be a nuisance and somehow get away with it. And some of these guys, like you'll see ones where it goes bad, where somebody gets upset and does something to them, and then they run around and they cry about how they're going to sue, and it's just in their freedom of speech. But I think what a lot of people don't take into account is that freedom of speech was designed to protect you from the government. It wasn't designed so you could say whatever you wanted to anyone and get away with it. You still had to be accountable for your words. All right, this is 70 pounds, 31.75 kilograms. Boss says, speech against the government. Yeah, if you, under the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, grants its citizens the freedom of speech. So if we have a problem with our government, or we have something changed, or change we want to make, we can say it and they can't do anything. But people take it to mean you can say whatever you want to anybody and there's no consequences, and that's just not, it's not true. You still should be accountable for, you know, you can't, shouldn't just be running around insulting people and aggravating people and then be able to hide and be like, oh, it's my freedom of speech, it's my expression. I think sometimes in this country, in the United States, people lose track of reality and consequences. Like we have a lot of things we've agreed to without people understanding why we reached a certain point. Bosch says, hey, if you insult people, you're gonna eat shit. Yeah, I mean that's, you should pay the consequences. When I was a kid, I grew up in a rougher area, and it was understood that if you were going to be disrespectful or insult someone, it was with the expectation that you would fight. That was the understanding. And then I moved to a different area and went to a nicer school, and kids were all rich. I wasn't rich, but they were. But they had this mentality where they could say whatever they wanted. And when you went to fight, they had no expectation of fighting. They just thought they could say whatever and be disrespectful, and nobody would do anything about it. There's a certain class of people in the United States that reach a level of money where they don't deal with the police, or they don't ever have to really encounter them, or their parents have always taken care of that for them. So they have no idea what real world consequences are for the police. And that's why, like, if you go on, YouTube or the internet, and you look at these different protests that happen in the US for the last few years, you've got a lot of kids that are middle class or from middle class families, or from more affluent communities, going to poorer communities to protest, and they're dealing with the police, and they're disrespectful, and they just have no idea what they're doing or saying, because they've always been allowed to say whatever they wanted. Bosch says, well, here, even in the rich schools, you're going to get to fight no matter what you say. Yeah. I think it's better that way. I think you should, take accountability for what you're going to say. And you have to be willing. I'm not the biggest guy out there, and but there have been multiple situations where I've had an opinion that's been contrary to someone bigger or better connected, and I still express my opinion, and I do so with the expectation that I could get hurt. But and it's not like a controversial opinion. If someone's being rude in public or disrespectful, like, I'll say something regardless of their size, And that may mean, you know, I get in a fight, but I mean, that's the price of maintaining a civilized society. But I've been very, very blessed. I've been in a lot of bad situations, and fortunately, they haven't escalated and been able to express my opinion, reach a point of understanding without having to, resort to fighting. But with the expectation being there. All right. There's exceptions. If a man is huge and I know I can't do shit, I'm not going to go near him. I found that a lot of times you can confront a bigger person, and if they're a man, if they're a man of character or any sort of respect, if you do it properly, they'll hear what you have to say and they'll change. Especially if they see your resolve. They're like, oh, because, like, if I was doing something wrong and someone smaller came up and told me that I was wrong, I wouldn't want to beat them up. I would want to fix it. Even if they made me upset, I wouldn't want to add beating up a smaller guy to what I've already been doing wrong. And a lot of big guys will be that way too. Harder if there's alcohol. If someone's drunk and they're big, definitely pick your words wisely. What if that guy doesn't care and doesn't have a brain? If they don't care and they don't have a brain, a lot of times they're also not the best fighters. You just have to be tenacious. And a lot of times, if they're big and they don't have a brain, and you walk up and you stand your ground, it has an amazing effect to scare those guys. Because they see you like, oh, this guy's not scared of me. And don't forget that, like, humans do things like step in cages with lions. We fight bulls. We mastered elephants. We are well equipped to win against a bigger foe. We can win against the bigger guy. It doesn't matter, how big they are. If they're dumb and can't fight, there's advantages there. And I don't know about Saudi Arabia, but in the US, you can carry weapons. So if someone's big enough and they warrant using a weapon, you can use a weapon. You don't have to get smashed just because the guy's bigger than you. But one punch from them, and you're gonna be in a coma. Yeah, for sure. Um, I've just done a lot of wrestling and a lot of grappling, and I don't get too worried about guys that are bigger than me. So, hold on, one of my kids is awake. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Uh, Here a lot of people have guns. Me, be right back. That's what Plosh said. Yeah, guns. I've had a couple of times people had a couple of times where people have said like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot you," um, and I don't know if they were serious or not, but I just told them go for it. Like, you know, you want to shoot me, okay, but you just stood my ground and they backed off. Again, I don't know if they really had guns. Um, they didn't pull them out, but they acted like they had guns, and it's just got to be what it's going to be. Someday, I may get shot, and that'll be what it'll be. But I'd rather be shot and killed than not, you know, not speak my mind and be scared. That being said, I also choose wisely on where I spend my time. I don't go to bars or clubs or places where people are gonna get in fights for stupid reasons. When I was younger, I would go to this these bars with my friends from work, and it was a pretty popular series of bars, and they were really popular with the local college. So you'd have a lot of college kids in there, and I stopped going because these college guys would want to be disrespectful because there'd be a whole lot of them. So they'd be with their friends and they would think it was fine to be disrespectful, and then they would think that it would be fine to get in a fight, because they just had no idea how much one fight can derail your life. And if you're not, if you don't have any consequences, if you don't have a job and all you do is go to college and spend your parents' money, you just have no idea. Like, the outside of the police, there's the physical harm that can come from getting in a fight, especially people that have only watched fighting that happens like in a cage. Like you watch the UFC and you see people fight, or you watch people, fighting in a gym. It's all very nice and very protected. But when you fight in a bar or you fight on the street, there's a lot of ways outside of just getting punched for you to get hurt and for someone to die. And like dumb college kids don't realize that, and they think it's okay, a good idea to pick fights with strangers. So I just stopped going to those places. This is the 60 pounds, 29.48 kilograms, 6-pound dumbbells. Well, I'm gonna have to call it. I'm out of time. Keep having these setbacks in the morning. Pull my attention away. But just want to say next week going to be doing some different workout routines. I've noticed that my body is like, my muscles are getting sore in a not great way, that I'm worried about actually doing damage to them. So next week I'm going to be doing a lighter load. I'm going to be doing some jump roping in the morning. Just giving myself about a week to recover before I do any like serious injury. So that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Bosh, hope you do well. Hope you can get that AC fixed, man. All right, God bless you guys. Thanks for coming.